air, earth, fire, loyalty. Long ago, the four wives lived together in harmony. Then, everything changed when the Phoenix wife demanded more. Only the patriarch, husband to all four elements, could play fair. But when the OG wives needed him most, he vanished. 18 seasons passed, and we have discovered the new star, an airbender named Christine. And although her cooking spinoff is just okay, she has a lot to live up to before she's ready to save anything. But I believe Christine can save this show.
Hello, welcome to the recap. I'm Tim. Angie's not here this week because she kept getting more sick and now her voice is completely shot. And I've been volunteered to do the recap in her absence. Yes, Angie says she's going to be the puddle monkey behind the camera. She's there to make sure I behave. All right, so this week I'm going to be recapping in front of the cul-de-sad, or as I like to say, the cul-de-sad. We'll see later on in the episode. We might as well just jump into it. So this week we'll be recapping Sister Wives Season 19, Episode 12, Put Your House in Order. And that's from the Bible. Okay. We start off basically where we left off last time, with Kody making everybody uncomfortable with his sudden display of mourning and tears, and everybody is uncomfortable with this. And the best part is after he's done crying on Meri's shoulder, he lets go and says, "Thanks for being cool." I don't think anybody thought they were being cool. I think they were just being awkward. It's clear here that nobody understands what the hell's going on with Kody. He says that Meri is his best friend, and then he's talking to Nathan and says that he just needs to feel it, to which Nathan responds, "It's emotional X-lax," which, gross, also really immature. I get immature feelings from Nathan in general.
I mean, we've seen him push his sister-in-law to Cody's pee last week.
Yes, Angie is saying, of course he's juvenile. We saw him push Meri into Cody's peen last week. So, yeah, Nathan is making Kody look mature in comparison. Again, this whole thing with Kody being upset and everybody being confused because they're like, oh man, why is he crying over Meri? He's not crying over Meri. He's crying over his sandcastle. Meri was just a rock in that sandcastle.
Little grain of sand. Sandcastle.
Angie says that she's a small grain of sand and that he flicked her away. I think she was a big old heavy rock at the bottom. But anyway, so then Jen tries to interact with Meri and both of them are confused over what the hell is going on with Kody. This is where we get the line from the preview where Meri says, "Did I f*** up?" Obviously, she doesn't think she f***ed up, so we were kind of led on thinking it'd be more interesting. It's not. In this episode, we actually get Jen as a talking head. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel conflicted. I feel only Kody and the wives can be talking heads. Jen, get out of here.
I mean, wasn't Nathan in a talking head at one point?
Nathan was allowed in?
Yes.
Oh boy, okay. Angie informs me that Nathan has also been a talking head, and I feel the show is a lie. I don't know, it feels weird. These people aren't supposed to be the talking heads, the commentary. Meri is super confused, and she's asking, why was that so weird? It would have been easier if Kody was a jerk, because then I could be mad at him and we could leave and there's no confusion. Jen says, well, he's usually a jerk. Then we get Jen saying that it's all Cody's fault. We all know it's already Cody's fault. Thanks, Jen, for the information here. She says that everything was okay until COVID happened and then everything fell apart. I don't know how COVID changed Meri and Cody's relationship too much. I thought that they were already avoiding each other, so I'm not sure how COVID works into Jen's explanation here. I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. COVID did nothing but reveal cracks in their foundation. It didn't cause anything. We cut to Christine's house in Salt Lake, and we're celebrating Savanah's graduation party, which the show chooses to use as a great opportunity to focus on Christine and Janelle. In fact, Savanah only is on screen for about 15 seconds for the most awkward part of the party. We see a picture of baby Savanah, who's got the chubbiest cheeks you've ever seen. And we're told that Kody's not going to be there. No, of course Kody's not going to be there. And he wasn't invited there. And Janelle takes the opportunity to tell us that she doesn't want Kody there. She is not involved with Kody, Robyn, or Robyn's kids. Which I can understand not wanting Kody and Robyn there. They're pretty universally disliked by all of the kids. And by the wives, right? But if you talk to most of the kids, they do want to have a relationship with Robyn's kids. So I didn't like that they were singled out like that. I mean, maybe if Savanah didn't want them there, that's fine.
Brianna gives her the stink eye whenever they're at school.
Yes, Angie reminds me that Brianna gives Savanah the stink eye. I get that. Then just don't invite Brianna. That's fine. I also do think that Robyn's kids really don't have a lot of travel options or open lines of communication. So that means...
You don't think her oldest three have a phone?
Well, I mean, they might have a phone, but the issue is say Aurora gets invited to a party in Salt Lake. How the hell is she going to get there?
She can drive.
For like 8 hours.
Sure.
I mean, maybe she could.
You like Robyn thinking these kids are 13.
Well, I haven't seen these kids look like that they are well put together. They're very sheltered, so I'm not sure what they can or can't facilitate for themselves. Anyway, we're informed that Maddie's kids call David Grandpa Dave. I guess that's interesting. Angie thinks that Kody'd be really upset to hear that. I don't think Kody would care.
Oh no, he would.
You think so?
Well, yeah, it's kind of like when Robyn made her kids call Kody Dad and made her kids call their bio dad Preston.
That's really effed up.
Yes.
I keep forgetting reasons to hate Robyn, but they're there. Oh boy, are they there. Okay, anyway.
I'm here to remind you.
Angie's here to remind me of the list. She has the whole list of all the reasons to hate Robyn. They talk about how perfect David is, some more. Christine says how lovely it is to just settle into David's perfect arms or something like that.
Did you say that?
No, she said something, it's lovely to settle with David or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then Janelle starts to talk about the land, and I immediately turn off because I don't care. She then proceeds to explain the land for the billionth time, and that she's going to get a lawyer. From all of this, I can see that Janelle right now is a real mess. She is really stressed out about this land situation. It's really eating away at her. Yeah, Janelle's stressed out. Anyway, so then Meri in jolly old London with a bad London Calling knockoff song.
What's that?
Oh, the song they were playing in the background. When we see London, they start playing this song in the background, which is like a discount London Calling, which is a song that people love to play when they're showing pictures of London. Meri's here, and it is most segments with Meri. It's Meri by herself talking about the fact that she's by herself. I've got here written down, who cares? And then Stonehenge, really? That's where I was at. Angie was thinking, oh, well, she's discovering herself and she's being independent. And I'm thinking to myself, she could have been here last week and there would have been no difference. She would have been alone. I don't know. She could have been here 2 years ago. She could have afforded a ticket to go to London by herself. And she informs us that she has this multiple decades long obsession with Stonehenge. 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 That's a Spinal Tap reference there. I'm thinking to myself, that's good to know she's obsessed with Stonehenge.
Well, I think this is like the equivalent of Christine bringing Isabel to her surgery by herself. She realized, I didn't realize I could do things on my own. And this is kind of the same thing with Meri. I didn't know I could travel on my own.
Okay. The producer says that this is equivalent to Christine taking Isabel to her surgery by herself and thus confirming to herself that she can accomplish things without Kody by herself. Counterpoint, Meri goes to places by herself all the time. They talked about that. like a whole bunch last episode.
But has she traveled overseas before?
Probably to Mexico.
Mexico's not really over the sea.
Oh, you're right. There's no... Sorry, everybody. There is no sea between Arizona and Mexico. You're correct. But they're laying the seeds of Stonehenge here. And then we cut back to the Savanah party, and Christine informs us that she planned a fun little dance and that she had everybody learn this dance and that this is somehow going to be a gift for Savanah.
They want it to be similar to some flash mob.
Angie informs me that this is a callback to the family dances that they do sometimes, whether they be flash mobs or mosh pit things. Savanah has to be called into the party because I took note of the fact that it appeared that Savanah was not at her own graduation party until this point. She stands there between the living room and the kitchen, and Maddie gets on a chair and starts gyrating. Savannah's confused, and everybody else is also confused. Did somebody else dance too, like a little bit?
There were some people in the background that tried to coincide where Maddie left off. I think it was supposed to be some sort of curated thing, but obviously no one knew what they were doing because they didn't practice.
Okay, Angie informs me that there were several individuals in the back who also took from Maddie's lead to dance in some sort of choreographed fashion, but it failed. Nobody knew what the heck was going on. Finally, Christine says, "Savanah, did you enjoy that?" And Savanah says, what did she say?
I don't know.
I imagine she said, "Did I enjoy what?"
What did I just witness?
What did I just watch? This was a very poignant moment of the episode because this represents this show in its totality. The family thinks it knows what good entertainment is, but they're wrong. They think, oh, we're going to do like a lip sync and the viewers are going to love it. And we don't. That's the show. Goodbye, everybody. Anyway, I've written here, roll stupid. R-I-L-L stupid. Okay. So then we get Kody's dumb face. Kody's absolutely has no idea what the hell is going on. And he's saying, oh man, they would totally want me to be there if there wasn't Robyn for some reason. Why do they hate Robyn? And I think it's super obvious. It's because you blame everything on Robyn. Everything that you do that you are not proud of, you put on Robyn, which I think this is a good opportunity to talk about something that I was confronted with in this episode. We see this multiple times in this episode. Kody offloads any of his undesirable traits onto being from Robyn. And when I say undesirable, any trait which is not toxic masculinity is because of Robyn. If he behaves in a way that somebody doesn't like it, it's because of Robyn. If he behaves in a way...
Didn't he say that today? He's like, I want to screw Janelle with the land, but I can't do that because of Robyn.
Exactly. I'll get to that bit in just a little bit. That's on page 3. That's the reason why everybody hates Robyn. They hate Robyn because anytime you do something that hurts them, you blame Robyn. Why couldn't you go to Isabel's surgery? Oh, it's because of Robyn and her kids. That's why I can't go to the surgery. And they're like, oh man, you're right. Oh, I hate Robyn and those kids. Those Robyn... No, it's Kody. Kody's the problem. Why did Kody just keep dragging Meri along for all these years? It's Robyn. Then you turn around and be asking everybody, why does everybody hate Robyn? It's obvious. Kody's not wanted. Duh. They talk about how there used to be big parties in Vegas, but not anymore. The cul-de-sad was the best situation that they ever had, and they blew it. And I think they know that. Kody talks about how one part of the family is pretending that they're the family and the other part is not part of the family. There's this bit where Kody tells us that Janelle trying to get buddy-buddy with Meri is the dumbest thing ever because Janelle doesn't like Meri. I mean, duh. That's the conclusion I came to last week, too. Meri goes back to Flagstaff to deal with the paying off of the land. And I'm excited. I just love land. Kody is super happy. Robyn is extremely happy. Meri also happy. I thought it was interesting that all 3 of these people were here at the table and that they were all happy. Kody asks Meri, how was England? And Meri says, it was great. I went to Stonehenge. And he says, did you go anywhere else? Okay, Kody, 1. Stonehenge is a very memorable topic. I think I remember every conversation in my entire life where somebody brought up Stonehenge. How could you not remember that she likes Stonehenge? That's number one. Number two, when you ask about a trip, the very first thing that somebody will tell you about it is usually their favorite part about it. So from that context, you could conclude that she really likes Stonehenge. So why on earth would you immediately
try to change the topic?
Yeah, why would you immediately try to change the topic, or why would you invalidate Stonehenge? Okay, I get it. You think it's boring, but Stonehenge is pretty weird, right? I think we could all agree that it's pretty weird.
How did that get there?
How did that get there? Did Merlin do it? They thought he did for like 1,000 years. It's kind of weird. It's kind of cool. It's kind of mystical. Meri likes it. That's the whole point. You need to give a shit because she likes it. Meri tells us about the fact that she loves Stonehenge a whole bunch. I feel like this would have worked better if they had hinted earlier in the season that she really liked Stonehenge, so that it could have more of a punch now. And then we cut to the rumor mill.
Who's the rumor mill?
Yes, the rumor mill is Christine and Janelle. I know when Kody says it, we're supposed to deride Kody, but I 100% believe.
Wait, did he specifically call them the rumor mill?
No, I'm calling them the rumor mill. Because Christine and Janelle sound like the rumor mill in this situation.
Why?
Whenever they're just talking stuff without any sort of examples, the rumor mill, that's Christine and Janelle, they talk about how Kody doesn't pay attention, and I believe it. What I'm saying is I don't think that Kody is a active listener.
You can't be when you're always into me.
I think that Kody was so busy trying to deal with other problems that he really couldn't pay attention to any wife one at a time. I just imagine all of the panic attack inducing episodes that Angie goes through on a weekly basis, and I think multiply that by 4, and I couldn't do it.
That I have an episode.
Angie has lots of anxiety, so I can get that, but also I know a bunch of people, and I generally know their interests and stuff like that. Kody informs us that it's because he's a man, and Angie stops it and asks, is that a man thing? And I'm like, no, that's a Kody thing. Kody, it's called being basically interested in a person.
No, we already know from my skit, he has no curiosity for Meri. He knows what's under the hood. He doesn't want to know anymore.
Yes, Angie is alluding to the animation with that's the lemons,
yes.
Right? We get another shot of Janelle, surprise, surprise, explaining the land again. Kody talks about separating the land out and says that he wants 5 acres for his kids to inherit. And then Angie says 5 acres, and I'm thinking 18 kids total. 5 Roblins. That's sus. You know, because 5 is divided by 5 a lot easier than 5 is divided by 18. Moving on.
Season 18 finale, Robyn says
his lots will be more about the more of the children. That's how I see it. Is that how you see it?
Not really, but
Really?
no.
How do you see it?
I see.
No. You don't answer right now because you're in a headspace that's not
Yeah, I know.
full. You're in a bad place
Well,
right
no,
now.
I just.
No,
I
you
don't
just-
see. I don't see. I'm not making any plans.
Well, that's how I see it. That's how I see it, and you just need to wait until you've got your headspace clear and clean and calm.
It's very clear in this episode that Kody and Robyn are not on the same page at all. They're discussing on whether or not they want to have the land appraised so that perhaps they could separate it based on the value of the land rather than the acreage of the land, which is smart. Kody doesn't want to do it. Kody just...
more money from him.
He doesn't want to pay somebody. Let's say you've got a collection of rare coins and you want to sell them for $200. You're so over them. You just want to sell them and somebody's, well, let's get somebody out here to tell us how much it's really worth. You're over it. So you're like, no, let's just get rid of these because I'm tired of looking at them. Which is kind of what I'm feeling from Kody here. He doesn't want to spend the money to get the land appraised. He just wants to sell all the land and be done with it because it's a lot easier to separate dollar bills than it is land. Obviously, there's one person who does not like this option, and that's a Robyn. Robyn here goes on a completely delusional tirade. She informs us that she wants to build on the land, and she wants Meri to build on the land, and she wants Janelle to build on the land, and she wants her kids to build on the land, and they want to live here because if she can build on the land, she's putting the family back together. And Robyn, you stupid, That's not going to happen. The land is not going to fix anything. What is going on inside of your wooden skull? Just conk conk. What is going on in there? This is insane. And even then, with this disagreement between Meri, Kody, and Robyn, Meri wants appraisal, Kody just wants to sell it all, and Robyn wants to divvy it up and start building. But they're still at the table talking about it. Meri is very vocal about the fact that she doesn't actually have any legal standing to get what she deserves out of this land. But Meri also knows that if she's just cordial with Kody and Robyn, they're going to give her her fair share. I think so. Mostly because I don't think that Robyn would allow Kody to screw Meri over that much. But Meri has a voice at the table. But who does not have a voice at the table is Janelle. Janelle is freaking out about whether or not it's going to be paid off, whereas Kody, Robyn, and Meri are at the table already agreeing that they're going to pay it off and then just trying to figure out what they're going to do after that. Janelle, because she's taken this weird antagonistic relationship to the land and all of that, is fretting over absolutely nothing, and I thought that was funny.
Well, we can only say she's fretting over nothing because we know they pay off the land.
Yes, Angie says, in retrospect, we know that, but Janelle didn't know at the time. I think that Meri is a much better bargaining position than Janelle, simply because she's at the table. We get this bit from Kody that, Kody says, am I going to screw Janelle over? And he says, no, I'm not going to screw Janelle over. Have I thought about screwing Janelle over? Yes, I've been thinking that it would be fun to screw Janelle over as a treat. But I'm not going to do it. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Good on you, Kody. You've got some scruples left. You know, just here when I thought, because my wife won't let me. You, Kody Brown, just when I think that maybe you have a shred of decency left in you. That's the thing about Kody. Kody uses Robyn as a scapegoat. Whenever Cody's upset about something or he doesn't want to admit to something, he just gestures in Robyn's direction like she's the prairie dog in his pocket. And it's infuriating. Why would you tell us that Robyn is the only thing holding you back for any other reason than, well, I mean, maybe you think it's funny. That's number one. Number two, it's because you think that being a stand-up guy is weak and you don't want to look weak. So you got to offload all of your weakness onto Robyn. Meri starts to go in on why the parcels are divvied up the way they are. She informs us that they don't make any sense. We already knew that. Robyn tells us Kody made them like that on a whim because Kody was just so tired and he just wanted it done. I'm of two minds about this. I 100% believe that Kody divvied these up in a way that allowed him to manipulate the wives. I also 100% believe that he was just being a lazy... I actually made a note on here. Yeah, here it is. Don't attribute to evil what you can attribute to laziness.
What does that mean?
Angie requests some clarification. What I'm saying is that every single time you can see Kody do something and we think, oh, he's so evil. He's so manipulative and evil. I see a man who's just extremely lazy, who takes the easy way out every single time and barely thinks out a single thing he does. We put that in and they start playing some dark music because they're trying to tell us how evil Kody is. I'm sure that if they played that circus song like the lazy elephant or whatever, it would have made us all think he was just being lazy. The dark music. I got here, more land bull. Meri's new catchphrase, I'm not married to Kody anymore. And so then we get Robyn again, and Robyn tells us how the cul-de-sad was perfect place and the best place the family's ever been. And I just wrote down here, Robyn, you killed the cul-de-sad. That was you. You did that.
Yep, she wanted to go to Flagstaff.
You wanted to go to Flagstaff.
Her son will not leave the nest.
Baby bird has not left the nest. Repeat, baby bird has not left the nest. And so, yeah, Robyn, you're delusional. Speaking of delusional, Kody informs us that she wants to live next to Meri because she wants to hang out with Meri, because she thinks that Meri is so cool now. I'm not sure exactly why Kody has such a pleasant opinion of Meri at this point.
Because she's not trash talking him.
Angie says it's because she's not trash-talking him.
Quotes, because everything he accuses the wives of trash talking, he said on camera.
He either said it on camera or he wrote it in a book. Maybe it's the lack of pressure. Maybe it's he doesn't feel like he needs to engage with her, and so he feels better about it somehow. Then Meri basically says, well, why would you want me to live next to you? Huh? Kody gets sad. Because Cody's like, what? I thought we were having fun here. And it's like, no, Kody, you don't understand your relationship with Meri even slightly. Now we're on page 3. Stupid Kody is going to Vegas to see his brothers. Okay. So we see Scott and Michael. Scott is a polygamist, very close to their church. Michael is not. And they have some canned mocking of Kody, talking about his hair, because a low-hanging fruit. They're both bald. Kody comes over, and Cody's hair, he talks about it being colored. He wears a hairnet to make it look this good. Oh my God, this man, it looks bad. It looks bad, man. After watching this, why doesn't he just get hair plugs? They gotta be cheaper than all these stupid bear statues. And the conclusion I came to was they would need to shave his head first before they could put in the roots, and Kody wouldn't do that. He would not do that.
He wants to be en natural.
Cody.
It's not true, because we find out he uses hair extensions in another episode.
Yes, Angie suggests he wants to be all natural. And then says that he's got hair extensions. I'm just saying that it would probably be a better investment than
2 hours a day doing this with your hair.
I mean, yes, the hair treatment. Okay, and so they're like, man, Kody, you're now in Vegas. What do you want to do that's super cool and fun? And he's like, I want to mope in front of the cul-de-sac. And they're like, seriously? And he's, yeah, that's where I want to go to feel sad. And thus I dubbed it the cul-de-sad. And then we get a bunch of dumb flashbacks. We get the recommitment ceremony and all that nonsense. Then Kody informs us that he tends to remember the best parts of things. And I say, no, you don't. Apparently you're not remembering the part where you remember all the parts. Did you forget that part too? Because it wasn't one of the best parts?
Wait, what are you talking about?
He says here that he tends to remember the best parts of things, which implies that he forgets the bad parts. But he must have forgotten the fact that he remembers the best parts because he seemingly only ever remembers the bad parts.
Yeah.
His brothers ask if he's going to reconcile with Janelle, which leads me to believe that they have no idea how bad it is with Janelle. And then Kody informs us that Robyn is easy. Duh. That's the whole point with Robyn. That's why she's the favorite wife, is because she was easy. That's why everybody hates her, because she was easy. He informs us that he loved Robyn in a way that he didn't love any of the other wives, which I do believe, and that he didn't know how to hide the fact that he loved Robyn, which I think that's incredibly sad for pretty much everyone involved. They were just kids marrying other kids. I've seen so many young kids growing up Mormon that get married at 19 years old. They barely know each other, and then they get divorced a year, 6 months, 3 years, 10 years later. It's because they really don't know anything about each other, and polygamy's bad. Marrying super young people that you don't know, also bad. Don't do it.
I know there will be people in the comments that says, well, I've been with my husband for 50 years and we got married in high school.
Okay, and then Angie informs me that there's probably going to be somebody in the comments saying that they've been married for 82 years and they're fine. And I believe it. I don't think that that's the super common thing. I also don't think that that's the super safe bet. Kody informs us that he has a fault. No duh. It's been that for the last few years, he's been trying to woo Janelle and Meri. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. He says that he tries to agree with Janelle and Meri, but they don't want to agree with him, and that Robyn's the only one who agrees with him anymore, which I don't know about that, because I don't think that Robyn agrees with you on a lot anymore.
Specifically, the land?
Anything. Kody says right here, no more marriage. Maybe this is the way things are supposed to be. No, Robyn want polygamy. Robyn want other wives. Kody and Robyn don't want the same thing.
Yeah, what was it, your analogy? They're branches on a tree, and they're growing in separate directions.
Yes, Angie reminds me of the time I said that they're like two branches on a tree going off in two different directions. Kody is happy with Robyn. Robyn is not happy with just Kody. I think part of that is that Robyn has always been the favorite wife, and she doesn't understand why the other wives are miserable. Robyn really is alienated, not just from the other wives, she's actually alienated from Kody as well. Because Kody and the other wives are all aware of how difficult polygamy is, whereas Robyn thinks that polygamy is the easiest thing ever, because she has a very different experience than everybody else. Kody tells us that polygamy kills emotional intimacy, and that polygamy's bad. Duh, Kody. Maybe you should have figured that out before you went on TV trying to tell the world how great it was.
He also has a head made of wood.
He's also got a head made out of wood, but his head is solid, just thunk, thunk, whereas Robyn's is empty and it goes cook, cook, cook. Anyway, and then we proceeded about 5 times to try to watch the last preview for the end of the show, and Max skipped it 5 times. Max sucks. That was my last line here. And Hulu suck. Why did they cut off the dumb preview? And
It's every time we kept trying to make it bigger, it would press the back button as if we were done with the episode. Like,
yeah. Fix your app. It sucks. Anyway, in the preview, it looks like Meri is interacting with some sisterwives Redditors. You can tell that they don't know Meri because they're just spouting the stuff that we all say on Reddit. I'm not on the sisterwives Reddit, but Angie sure is. Then we see one of the daughters, Robyn's daughter.
Ask if they can.
Is it Brianna?
Brianna.
And Brianna says she wants to go to church to...
Yeah. You know, to date.
To date, and then Robyn says, that's not why you go to church. And it's, damn it, Robyn, that's why all young people go to church. They go to church to date.
Young Mormon single adult ward.
Yes, if you're a Mormon young single adult ward, is specifically designed to date, and the church aspect is just off on the side.
But it seems as if they're not going to a Mormon church. They're going to
Some evangelical thing?
something with music. There was a bunch
Yeah.
of pics that were posted on.
Yes. She's going to go to what looks like one of those non-denominational churches, but really are a denominational church. There's lots of singing. I'm not sure if it's an evangelical thing, but she wants to go to one of these places, which... yeah, she should probably go. Let's just say the dating pool is a lot bigger there than it is inside of her room. Maybe just let her breathe a little bit. That's the end of the episode. So for the summary for this episode, the Kody show, we see the tail end of Kody helping Meri move. We see the absolute worst dance mob thing at Savanah's graduation party. Meri goes to London. Meri, Kody, and Robyn decide that they're going to finally pay off the land. Kody and his brothers go cry in front of the cul-de-sac.
So, make sure you...
And Angie's here.
So, make sure you tell Tim he did a good job.
Also, Angie wants me to inform you that if you like this format better than the old format, then keep it to your damn selves. We don't want to hear about it. This is worse.
Okay, I'll be back next week.
Yeah, so hopefully Angie is going to feel better next week, and I won't have to do this solo. Bye.
Well, Cody's down to one wife, and he's feeling kind of blue. Lost 3 out of 4, didn't have a clue. Says it's all their fault, but we know the score. Ain't easy being Kody, no more wives at his door. Oh, Kody, Kody, what you get yourself into? 3 wives have left you, now you ain't got a clue. Pointing fingers everywhere, but it's clear to see life as a monogamist ain't your cup guarantee.